There everybody, hi, great to be with you again. So let's see, next stream will be on Tuesday, which will be the 12th of August at 10 AM, and then notice on Thursday the 14th of August it will also be at 10 AM, okay, because the afternoon I can't do. So notice Tuesday and Thursday at 10 AM UK time. So let's see, hi there to Julia and Keyword, hi there to Manisco and Maurits and Nadia and Oksana and to Vitali. So let's go. Okay, this is about donuts, the fried treat that conquered the modern world. Hello Yuri, great to see you, and Julia and Alex, lovely to have you as well. Hi Christian, great to have you. So donuts travelled to the US with Dutch and became a much loved national snack. Their invention as a hunger busting austerity food. Manu, lovely to hear you. When lilacs last in the dooryard bloomed. Hi White Stripes. Dutch pilgrims. Yeah, I guess they could be pilgrims. The Pilgrim Fathers. Pilgrim Fathers were British from Plymouth. Or from the UK, Plymouth Rock. Hi Nobel VJ, great to have you. Settlers, says Alex. Immigrants, says Keyword. Settlers, says White Stripes. Vindicating their invention. Hence their invention as a hunger-busting austerity food. Hence is not bad. Dutch migrants, Dutch pilgrims, migrants from Nadia. Settlers, says Julia. Pilgrims, says Manu. Immigrants or sailors, says Alexander. Hi Alexander. Immigrants, says Vitali. Settlers and despite. Ergo. That's very good. I think you've got two ice creams there, Yuri. Well done. Settlers and despite. Well done, Julia. Hi, Patricia. Following. So, donuts travelled to the UK with Dutch settlers and became Dutch settlers. Dubbing their invention. It would work, Oksana. Despite their invention as a hunger-busting austerity food. Okay. There is a soft place in most reserved for donuts. The pillowy, the crisp jacket of glazing, the sweetness, so sweet it could almost put you off donuts. But never does, or at least not for long. They look like the Endash. Hearts, says Alexander. There's a soft place in most hearts. Hearts, says Maurits. For donuts. The pillowy dough. The crisp jacket. Yeah, but unfortunately dough is normally uncooked. Dough is before it's cooked. There is a soft place in most bakeries. The pillowy crust. I like the crust. In most pantries. But a soft place. Notice this phrase, a soft place. Heart, says Nadia. Bread then. The pillowy bread. It's not quite bread either. Batter, says Vitali. In most people, yes Lando, in most stomachs, in most kitchens. Pillowy texture, that to me looks very good, Nadia. In most households, a soft place, but notice it's soft. In most souls, hearts and pastries, says Julia. Pillowy texture, says Maurits. Texture for Patricia. So, let's go. So, a place in our hearts for the pillowy texture. So texture gets an ice cream for those of you with texture, and hearts for those who started with it. Pillowy texture, absolutely, Oksana. Okay, so let's go for the next one. In warm yellow glow, the warm yellow glow of tray upon tray of doughnuts has many a morning customer and lightened many a load. In the warm yellow glow of tray upon tray of doughnuts has many a morning customer and lightened many a load. So this looks simple, but the words are easy to guess if you know, if you can see where it's going. So in the warm glow of tray upon tray of doughnuts has enticed many a morning customer and lightened many a heart. Enticed is a very good word. In truth, yeah. Well done, White Stripes. Let's see if we can get some other examples here. In truth, in fact, has fascinated many a morning customer. In fact, for Manu. Okay, so where are you going to see has enticed, says Patricia. In fact, enticed. Truth and enlightened, in truth. In reality, has allured. I like allured for the second one, Manu. Okay, where are you going to see tray upon tray of doughnuts? And somebody gave this answer for the previous question. Where are you going to see tray upon tray? In dawn's first light has welcomed many a morning customer. That's very good, Yuri. Welcomed is the closest we've had to the second answer. And I think welcomed is probably worth half an ice cream for Yuri. In bakeries, well done, Maurits. So in bakeries, the warm yellow glow of tray upon tray of doughnuts has served, has greeted, that's the word, Alex, has ushered in many a customer. So in bakeries, the warm glow of warm yellow glow of tray upon tray of doughnuts has greeted many a morning customer. Well done, Oksana. So well done, Yuri. You were the first person in there with the idea. I remember fondly the maple in bakeries. Yes, I think you probably do, Alexander. In bakeries, comma, the warm yellow glow of tray upon tray. Yeah. Chances are, that's very good, White Stripes. I remember fondly the maple frosting capped pastries that graced the shop in my hometown, and are that you have an eidetic. Chances are good. Okay, Alex says no comment is usually needed. Comma is usually needed after such a short adverbial of place. Or we can easily be led astray. Have an exquisite. Okay, this second word is quite difficult. Something that you remember clearly. Chances are. And chances are good. Well done, Manu. So something that makes you remember clearly. And delicious. Have a delicious donut memory. Vivid. Vivid is not bad, Julia. An unforgettable, explicit, good words. An indelible. Indelible's a good word as well. Vivid and avid. Normally it's an avid supporter, an avid fan of, an expressive. Okay, this one begins with E, EV, EV, and EV. Chances are an indelible, an explicit is not bad, EV. Well done, Alex. An evocative. Odds are. I like odds are. That's very good, Yuri. And odds are. That's really good, Yuri. It fits perfectly. And odds are, and chances are, you have an evocative donut memory of your own. Evocative. Well done with that. Your odds, Yuri. That odds is really good. You've definitely learnt that word, and I'm really happy about that. So, all donuts instead of all for donuts instead of all for love. So, fried is an old vice. Fried pastry. Pastry's not bad. Fried sugar. No, you can't fry sugar. The sugar goes on afterwards anyway. Fried pastry, says Lando. Donuts, says Christian. Almost. Fried food. That's a good word as well. Fried bakeries, no, fried dough, and that's an ice cream. Madeleine was just mentioned. Fried dough is an old vice. Fried fare, I like the word fare as well. Okay, fried dough is an old vice. It's probably been on the menu for as long as flour has been, and large quantities of animal fat or oil have been on. So it's probably been on the menu for as long as flour has been, and large quantities of animal fat or oil have been. But it's been around, but not as long as flour has been around. And large quantity, yeah, around would definitely work. Has been around. And large. Been introduced, around. On stock, it's in stock. Ah, that's so close. In stock. Well done, Maurits. That's an ice cream for Maurits. That's the right answer. Milled. To mill. To mill is to grind. You mill flour in a windmill. And large quantities of fat or oil have been on sale, at hand, but on. Well, in this case, they've used on hand, Oksana. On hand for Yuri. Ground. You mill flour, you don't grind it. I don't know why. On offer, on hand. At hand. I prefer at hand as well. But you can have something on hand. Yeah, it's available. Milled and on sale for Christian. In storehouses. Hi Raoul, good to have you, Raoul Gianfranchi. Okay, so yes, let's try the next. But donuts, as we usually them, are a relatively young food. But donuts, as we usually them, are a relatively young food. As we know them, as says Alexander and Oksana, as we know them, says Lando, and White Stripes, as we term them, good word Vitali, as we imagine them, good Nadia, as we recognise them, good, as we relish them, just about Christian, as we know them, says Julia, as we perceive them, says Alexander. I honestly can't remember the answer to this one. No, all of that know, term, imagine, recognise certainly fit very nicely. As we eat them, as we see them, as we cherish them. My donut, my donut. Yeah, you could cherish a donut, I guess. Okay. As we usually imagine them. That's Nadia again. As we consume them. Good word, keyword. Well done, keyword. As we see them, are a relatively young food. As we gobble them, like Cookie Monster. Imagine them, recognise them, says Lando. As we eat them, yeah. Okay. The North American version, known by that name in shops around the world, seems to have its in the decades after the American Revolution, when a Dutch treat took on a new, to have its roots, its origins, good Maurits, good Alexander, its inception on a new look, good White Stripes, took on a new recipe, it could be, its roots for Vitali, its roots for Alex, took on a new turn's very good for the second one. A new equivalent, yeah, because this is something similar but different. Its origin took on a new role, good words Julia, have its beginnings, good Lando, its roots in the decades, its origins, it took on a new form, good keyword. A new look's a good word as well. To have its antecedents, that's a great word, White Stripes. Origins and roots, says Christiane. It's took on a new have its appearance. No. Took on a new appearance, yes. A new aspect, says Patricia. Yeah, a new guise, a new form, a new life, a new form. Origin, says Patricia. A new taste. Origins and form, says Yuri. A new market. On a new identity for the second one. So origin, ice creams for origin, and identity I don't think anybody got. So let's continue. Reading histories of the donut, you might be surprised to find that the confection has been with nationalism. So reading histories of the donut, you might be surprised to find that the confection has been with nationalism. Persona, a new persona for the previous one, yes, has been inextricably tied, good words, has previously been associated, good Maurits. It's going to be was originally. Because originally is a point in the past, and therefore past simple. Has always been tied with, good Lando, has long been associated with. That looks like an ice cream to me for keyword. Has once, again, was once. Because once is one point in the past, and there's no time up to now. Has been associated, yes, Christian. Has often been tied, good Lando. Has largely been affiliated, good Julia. Has been tinged, that's an ice cream Vitali. Has been associated with. Has long been flavoured with nationalism. Has generally been linked with. So ice cream for Vitali for tinged, and long ice cream for keyword. Okay, it's long been tinged with nationalism. It's long been tinged with, coloured with, had a little taste of. At the same time that the new nation of the United States was trying to find its, in the world, were trying to figure out what was essential about it, about its literature, about its national character, about its food. Identity, place. Those sound like two good words. Place and its founders, good word. Its position, good Patricia. Its place. Its forefathers, good Vitali. Its place in the world. Its identity for Alexander, good. Its way in the world, well done Manisco. Its place in the world. Its founders. Its citizens. Okay, citizens is the right idea. Dwellers, good. Its identity, its entity, its identity, its place in the world, its roots, its intelligentsia, its population. So another word for people, its inhabitants, its place in the world, it's well done Vitali, its denizens. Hi Patel, lovely to see you. So ice cream for Vitali for denizens, and find its footing in the world, its populace, its netizens. Okay, so a denizen is somebody who lives in a place. Find its footing. It's a good word. Its basis. Try a stable thing. Denizens. So the denizens of the forest are the insects and the birds and the monkeys and the animals. Inhabitants. Denizens. Good word to learn, Alexander. This meant that writers and commentators looked back on the rather history of the country with a kind of nostalgia, with bravado. Yeah, you could definitely have a donut for lunch, Manu. I'll buy you any donut you want, with sprinkles, with chocolates. It's an ode to the donut. Yes, it is. Rather short-lived. That's it, Alexander. Rather short. Tinged with bravado. Tinged is good. Mingled. That's really good, Yuri. Mingled is I think is going to get you an ice cream or a donut as well. Rather short. On the rather short. Very good, Manu. Rather short, says White Stripes. Mingled with, says Manisco. Mingled, says Lando. Rather short, intermingled. Sounds very nice, Maurits. Brief, the rather brief history. The rather rough, rather short-lived, intertwined with. Good, Julia. Rather short-lived and mingled. The rather brief. Rather short and mingled. There you go. Ice creams for short and mingled. Rather brief. Hi Sid, it's fine. It's great to have you. Coupled with is a good word as well. Okay, before New York was New York, of course, it was New Amsterdam. And writers often reflected on the Dutch customs of earlier with treacly. Another dimension to mingle. Yeah, to mix two things. Earlier times. Customs of earlier recipes, earlier times. Of earlier days. Of earlier settlers. Settlers works quite well. With treacly sentimentality. That's a really good word, Maurits. Treacly affection. Earlier periods, treacly fondness. Good, Lando. Customs of earlier recipes. Yeah. Definitely, Patricia. Treacly. Treacle is like a very thick, sugary thing. Half a pound of tuppenny rice, half a pound of treacle. That's the way the money goes. Pop goes the weasel. Earlier times, affection. Earlier days. Earlier times with treacly affection. Okay, so the first word begins with E. Treacly warmth is good, Nadia. Treacly sentiment is good, Patricia. So the custom of earlier meaning times. Well done, keyword. Eras. With treacly, yes, well done, Yuri. I like eons as well. But eons are normally longer. Epochs. Epoch is good, Lando. Okay, of earlier eras. With treacly fondness. Somebody said fondness. Yeah, that was Lando. So, Lando. Ice cream for Lando for fondness. A great big one for fondness. Treacly affection. Okay, of earlier eras and treacly fondness. I need to put that. Whoops. One of these, affection, yes, definitely, Patricia. One of these was the making of fried dough known as oily koeken or oil cakes. Oily koeken, this is, you can read this in Dutch, oily koeken, oil cakes. So one of these fried dough cookies, one of these customs. I have a fondness for my children when they don't ask me for alimony. So these fried cookies, one of these variants, good word, Patricia. One of these pastries, yes, Manu. One of these traditions, that's good, Alexander. I like traditions probably best of everything so far. Fried dough pastries. Okay, it's a shape. It's a shape. Also known as customs and biscuits, fried dough biscuits. Fried dough's a round piece. Desserts, it would work. Rings, without the hole. Pastries, says Patricia. Well done, Alexander. Fried dough balls. One of these customs. Well done, those of you with customs. And definitely an ice cream for Alexander's balls and Nadia's balls. Rings as well. Okay, a recipe for these treats appears in a 17th century Dutch. They are with yeast and studied with dry fruits. Cookbook, very good, Vitali. In the 17th century chef cookbook, well done, Alexander, well done, Nadia. Recipe, yes, cookbook. So I like recipe, I like, yeah, but we got two recipes. Cookbook. Book, yes, Lando, it's a cookbook. Or a cookery book, we say as well. They're mixed with yeast. They're cooked with yeast. So what does yeast do? Cookery book, definitely Yuri. So what does the yeast do? Oh, Dutch recipe. Raised. They are raised with yeast. That's the meaning, Alexander. Now, the technical term for that, raised. They are risen. A Dutch book, they rise. Well done, Yuri. But they are, you need the ED. Well done, White Stripes. They are leavened. Leavened. Ice creams for Yuri and White Stripes there. They are leavened. To leaven is to make something rise, particularly bread. It's the action of yeast. Leavened. Yeah, to leaven. Raised with yeast, yes. And studied. They've got stuck in them pieces of dried fruit. Yes, make something rise, particularly bread. A Dutch book, a Dutch cookbook. One of the earliest of doughnuts in American writing came from Washington Irving, the writer and diplomat, known for The Legend of Sleepy Hollow and Rip Van Winkle. One of the earliest records, instances, examples, good words, mentions, recipes. Now known, good white stripes, references, good keyword. Famously known, one of the earliest mentions, good Alex. Also known for, best known for, I think that's the ice cream, earliest mentions, also known. Recipes and records of doughnuts, yes. Mentions, primarily known, mostly known, predominantly known, well known. Earliest descriptions, good Patricia. Earliest memories, best known, well done Nadia. Best sounds best, and best is best. Yes, it's a superlative, best known. So one of the earliest mentions of doughnuts, which are by Washington Irving, best known for The Legend of Sleepy Hollow and Rip Van Winkle. The man who slept for 100 years, primarily known, good. And in his 1809 Knickerbocker's History of New York, he goes on at length about Amero-Dutch folkways, describing the tea parties of the not past. He goes on at length about not so distant. Well done, Alex. He goes on at length, not so famous. It's about time, white stripes. The past. About thee. It works perfectly, Lando. So distant. Well done, Alexander. About erstwhile Amero-Dutch folkways. That's very good, white stripes. Not so distant past. Traditional folkways. Typical folkways. Not so distant past. The not so distant past. So let me put this up. Okay, I forgot this one. You probably needed a clue for this one. Quaint Amero-Dutch folkways. Not too distant. Not too distant. Yes. The not so distant past. Okay. And these fashionable parties were generally to the higher classes or noblesse. Quaint, eccentric and old-fashioned. The not too distant past, not so distant, were reserved for, attributed to, held for, attributed to, reserved for the higher classes, limited to, well done Yuri, tailored to, well done Oksana, attributed to, limited to, yes, white stripes, definitely. Okay. Linked to. Yeah, linked would work as well. Were confined to. These fashionable parties were generally confined to the higher classes or the noblesse. Connected to. Yeah. That is to say, such as kept their own cows and their own wagons. he wrote with of sentimentality and condescension. Confined to, reserved, yes, limited to. Not the obvious one to think of. With a touch of sentimentality, good word, White Stripes, and rode their own wagons. With a mix, good word, a touch of, yes, Vitali, and used their own wagons. With a wad, I guess a wad is normally money, a large amount, rode their own wagons. With an air is a good word, keyword, a touch of, an air of sentiment, slurry. Steered, that's good, Maurits. Nobody's actually got the first one. Drove, well done, Patricia. That's an ice cream for Patricia. And drove their own wagons with a mix for Maurits and a mix. There was someone else who mentioned mix earlier. Mix for Alexander, well done. Okay, they drove their own wagons, and he wrote with a mix of sentimentality and it was always sure to an enormous dish of balls of sweetened dough fried in fat and called doughnuts or oily cakes, a delicious kind of cake, at present scarce known in this city except in genuine Dutch families. Sure to serve, to offer. To fill an enormous dish, yes. To produce, to feature, good word, Alex. To offer, to serve. Vouchsafe in pig fat. Okay, so now you've got to go further than pig. Another word for pig, White Stripes. In its fat, I guess. To yield. Duck fat. Good idea. To beget. Probably not. To be present. Cow fat, no. And fried in pig fat. Pork fat, swine fat. Porcine fat. Lard. What do the Americans call pigs normally? Pork fat. Lard is pork fat. And lard would be without the word fat. So another word for buffaloes, bacon fat, ham fat. Well done, Alexander. I'm sure it was hog fat. Yeah, fried in hog's fat. So it was always sure to boast to have boar fat as well. Boar would work. Hog fat. So it was always sure to boast an enormous dish of balls of sweetened dough fried in hog's fat. Hog, pig, yes. Hog fat. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end for today. So, let's see. Thank you all for coming. It's been great. Next stream will be on Tuesday, 12th of August at 10 a.m. UK time, and the one after that will be Thursday the 14th of August at 10 a.m. So Thursday okay, so notice next week Tuesday and Thursday at 10 a.m. So thank you all for coming. This was hard. Yes, Christian, this is hard. Yeah, Alexander, you're in a class of brilliant people. Yeah, all of the people who come to this class are quality English students. So thank you to Alex and Alexander and Christian. Thank you to Keyword and Lando and Manisco and Maurits. Thank you to Nadia and Oksana and Patricia and Vitali and White Stripes. And who else? Thank you to Yuri. Thank you. You're going to go and get some donuts now. And thank you to Christian. Thank you to all of you. It's been really good. So take care and have a great weekend.